course it is. You and I are here.
Welcome back to the Dolphin Radio Show, all you highly attractive children born out of wedlock. Sorry, Billy D. I'm your host, the porpoise with a purpose and a face for radio, and today's show is a very exciting one as I get to talk about that purpose with none other than my good friends, Wrath of Controversy, the Politipod, and my best internet frenemy, Michael Rowlands, who will be here a little bit later.
Wait a minute, he's your best internet frenemy? Wait a minute, I thought he was my best internet frenemy. I'm hurt now.
No, I don't know what you mean to him, but I know what he means to me.
That's fair. But I mean, we do have similar taste in hats, so I think I might have a slight advantage.
I don't know. He and I also have similar taste in hats and music. We're gonna sit here and measure. We're gonna sit here and have a pissing contest over who's a better internet frenemy to a feminist. It's great.
see, this is proof that the dialogue is improving because we're competing over internet frenemyship.
Which, by the way, brings me back to the rest of my introductory speech, which is recent reports that Laci Green has been red-pilled, Steve Shives is considering live streaming with anti-feminists, dogs are marrying cats, what does the world come to? What has happened to the good old days when we all just retreated to our own personal echo chambers after a long day of vilifying each other with nasty name-calling and accusations? And what will become of the keks and the lulz? How will we get our sustenance? Guys, tomorrow the Politipod will have a large selection. I think Pod, why don't you bring out the selection to us real quick? The potentials and the verifieds.
All right, hang on one thing. Okay, so Steve Shives put out a little bit of a naughty tweet about how he wants anti-feminist YouTubers to be taken off YouTube. So my response to this was, why don't we talk about it? And so after that, I invited Michael Rowlands, Bronx blogger, Willie Bumblebee. I invited almost every single feminist I could. Even Francesca Ramsey was in talks for a little bit. I ended up with Bronx blogger, Willie Bumblebee, and Michael Rowlands. Willie dropped out a few days ago due to unforeseen things that happened. And so we're getting another feminist in there. I don't know who it is yet. Bronx bloggers coordinating it. So we will see on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I know for me, at least, it's going to be me as the moderator. I'm trying to keep the peace between some peeps. And then we have Jeff Holliday's coming, That Girl with an Opinion, and Bunty King all coming on. Possibly an appearance by Laci Green. Not confirmed, not denied yet. So we will see what happens. Francesca Ramsey actually said that she didn't want to come on. So I'm just glad that I got mentioned to her, because that just means honestly, that's not a bad thing. Francesca Ramsey, I don't think is quite to the point where people like Laci and Michael and Chrisiosity are, where they're actually willing to converse with us and say, look, these guys, we may disagree with them, but they're not actually evil people.
Or like Rancing Feminist is another one who's talked to us a few times. We had her on a cunt stream about a month and a half ago.
Didn't she say something about being afraid of being generous towards anti-feminists because she's afraid that it might cause people to go, oh, you're the one feminist I can rely on, or something like that?
Yeah, I think she was afraid of basically by good behavior stigmatizing the rest of her group, kind of thing. Like that if she did something too positive in the eyes of our community, that it would further demonize hers. Like the members of hers that don't do that. And I guess I can kind of relate in that, building too much of an expectation and whatnot. But at the same time, I think that you shouldn't worry about how your good deeds make other people's bad deeds stand out. That's my opinion, is that you do what's best for you. And if other people look poor by comparison, that's their problem, not yours.
Yeah, you can only control your own actions. You can't control the behaviors of other people.
Right. Like, I mean, if hypothetically I were to make a video that makes me look good but makes the cunt stream look bad, if I didn't specifically shame or slam the cunt stream, then that's not my fault. That's not my fault or my problem.
Yeah, at that point, it's on the cunt stream to correct the mistake or to do their own what is it, damage control.
Right. And the thing is that I use that example because I know that if that were to happen, I have obviously a pretty good rapport with Schmeckel and Samaj, and that would be a net positive for the cunt stream in the long term, because being associated with the cunt stream, and unless that involves disassociating myself with the cunt stream, it would only in long term bring more views and more following.
Yeah, in the end, it's got the no press is bad press kind of.
Right. It's like how when Hagbard Celine does good things, it helps Nightmare Fuel podcast because he's associated with Nightmare Fuel.
I have not seen.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I think Hagbard is actually partially responsible for the podcast's success.
What's this group called?
Well, Reese is the one who like owns it, kind of like how Schmeckel owns the cunt stream. Nightmare Fuel Reese, but it's a podcast that Reese runs that Hagbard has been part of for a while.
Wow, you can spot Wooly on their banner really easily. They gave her a really big nose.
I got a bad. I'm not gonna get into it. That's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, you're
okay. The issue with Wooly is that's a personal issue, and it's probably best that we don't discuss it. Wooly's not here to defend herself, and
I mean, also I have no personal beef with Wooly. I have some disagreements with things.
Oh no, not Wooly. I'm talking about Reese.
Oh, Reese. Yeah, Reese is not here to defend himself.
I don't know him at all, honestly.
I've had some interactions with him. I would say mixed, but more of kind of a net neutral interaction with him. It's that I don't really have a positive or negative opinion of him. I just kind of, he's there. Now Hagbard, I have a lot of respect for, but I've had more direct interaction with Hagbard than Reese.
And I have a very positive opinion of Hagbard as well. My only problem is Reese, and it's not really that I've met Reese. It's more of the things that Reese posts on his Twitter and talks about in general that I very much dislike. But it's neither here nor there. Let's get back to talking about. I don't know, what were we talking about?
We're talking about the discourse. Kind of progress / changes with Laci's recent behavior, and specifically some of the responses to what she said in her video and what she's been doing lately.
As far as Laci goes, my opinion on Laci, real quick, is that Laci, if you ever hear this, you don't have to change your opinion. You don't have to take our position, but thank you so much for at least talking to us, for like breaking that barrier and stepping forward and say, you know what, let's have a discourse.
I think it's a huge step in the right direction, because Laci being kind of a pillar of her community, so to speak, like she's very well known, both in and outside her community. I would assume, I'm not a part of that community, so I can't say for sure, but I would assume that she's typically well respected and well regarded by her community.
She's not anymore.
Well, I mean,
yeah, a lot of them.
Perhaps she's kind of lost some position with that, with her community, because of what she's done. But the fact that she's done that despite the reactions speaks to her character. I mean, I never thought she was a bad person. I just thought that she had some bad ideas. And that's an important distinction to consider. And regardless of, like you were saying, whether her opinion changes or not, Laci, I had a lot of respect for your decision to have dialogue with people who disagree with you.
I'm ecstatic. If she comes on tomorrow, I would be extremely happy with that, because that just shows like how far we've come
Oh yeah, I mean, I won't even be able to watch because I'll be working. But I'd be very interested to see. Well, yeah, I'll have to watch it after the fact, but it'd be.
This is my half year stream too. That's a big thing too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Pod has suggested that I may be allowed to moderate the comment section. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That. And as soon as you come on tonight and watch the PTSD stream, I can click on your fucking name and add you as a moderator. Then you can go to bed.
We'll definitely do that. I've been meaning to go into the PTSD stream. By the way, if we're not promoting tomorrow's Politipod show enough, that's really what this stream is about. And if you haven't picked up on that, you definitely need to check the Politipod out. Subscribe to him. His link is in his channel's linked in the description below. You can check it out. And please check out this stream. It's going to have big people in it. It's going to have it is. I think it's. I would really. My hope for this stream is that it's going to be the icebreaker stream. In fact, I think you should call it. I think you should call it the icebreaker stream.
Yeah,
icebreaker stream.
I think that's a pretty accurate title.
This was I think I named it like the Great Leap Forward or something weird like that.
I say you call it the icebreaker stream. Let's like actually have a legitimate, emotions aside conversation, and my hope is that it spawns more like it.
Mm. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like a bunch of weight has been put on certain people's shoulders now, because it's like if this goes off without a hitch, then we got open discourse now. If it doesn't, it could be bad. It could be not so bad. There's multiple things that can happen afterwards.
Well, let me remind you of the simple.
Hi.
let me remind you of the simple truth that is absolutely true. If at first you don't succeed, the second attempt you may.
Yeah.
So, like, if your stream goes off tomorrow and everything goes great and it goes gangbusters and everybody's like, you know what, we need to have more interactive streams like this, then wonderful. But if it doesn't, it's not the end of the story. We can try again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Precisely.
How you doing, Michael? Welcome to the stream.
I'm good, thanks. I apologize for being late.
Oh, you're all right.
My tardiness.
That's funny. I was just tweeting this out as you joined, and I was kind of like, okay, I better tag that Michael's also here.
Yeah, I sort of overslept, so yeah, my bad.
It's all right. I'm only docking your pay 50%.
Ah, damn you, Obama.
Wait a minute, he's getting paid? Why am I not getting paid?
We're all getting paid. You're all getting paid $0. I'm docking 50% of his pay.
Oh, hey, Dolphin, I thought of you the other day because I was in a bar and one of our local breweries has started making mead.
Oh, those sons of bitches. Competition is the only business.
They're cornering the market.
He said, you started off with, I thought of you because I was in a bar, and I was kind of like, oh, I think he won the frenemy competition.
What kind of bar was it, Michael?
I can't actually remember. Where the hell was it? It was one of those bars. Yeah.
It was one of those bars where you show up dressed as a cowboy who wears only leather.
Yeah, pretty much.
And was there a strategic modification of the chaps?
Funny story. I actually was dressed as a cowboy. That's a true story. We were at a country festival, and I was playing country music. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I saw the thing, and I was like, hey, that's mead. I know about mead. I've been told about it.
Is it now? Let me ask: is it made from local honey?
I think so. Yeah. As far as I know.
If you have any allergy issues, you should definitely check out trying some.
Yeah, no, you said that. And remember then we said we were going to try and make mead out of cats because, it's mostly cats. That's mostly.
Honestly, I forgot most of that stream.
Wait a minute. If we make meat out of cats, I don't think that your friends Tim would be too happy about that.
No, they would.
Hold on a second, Michael. You're a New Zealander. You're not an Irishman. Why the hell are you trying to ferment literally anything? That's my job, okay? I'm the Irishman here. I'm the guy that ferments like a box of pencils.
Diddly diddly dee.
Well, I mean, I've been accused of being Boston Irish because of the way I look.
You do look like a Bostonite.
Yeah.
Not an Irish, but
Wizard of Cause says that if I could pick up the accent, I could totally fit in the Irish part of Boston.
Well, he would have some experience in deciding that. Yeah.
Well,
I like Boston. It's a cool place.
I haven't been back there since like 2012, so it's been a while.
You know, most of America doesn't
cool.
actually count Boston as an American city because they speak a different form of English, and because they're Bostonians.
Well, I mean, English, so does the entire state of Arkansas, but
you know, honestly, we don't, as Americans, we don't bring up that Arkansas exists very often.
I bring it up all the
time. Good old Arkansas.
Because I have family there. They're the only people not related to the rest of the state.
I want to test something. Michael, how many states can you name?
Oh, shit. Not all of them.
Well, you want to know a depressing fact? I'd say the vast majority of Americans can't name all 50 states.
Yeah,
I've actually put my whole family to the test, and all but my youngest son got it.
It just makes me think of that episode of Friends, where Ross is trying to name all the states.
Oh yeah, Utah's not a real state. That's funny. Like I love that part. It's kind of like, no, we're not a real state. You're right.
Poor Utah.
It's more like a bunch of craters.
Well, Utah
is a state variation of Canada. It's not really a real state.
Utah, the only reason they allowed it to be a state is because we claimed a bunch of national parks. So it's like, fine, you can be a state if we're allowed to visit arches. I mean, it's got beautiful scenery and very narrow-minded religious people. That's pretty much Utah in a nutshell.
Utah is where Salt Lake City is, right?
Correct.
Yes, I know it because of the Book of Mormon. Utah.
The actual doctrine by what's his face?
Joseph Smith.
Yeah, Joseph Smith, or the Trey Parker and Matt Stone play.
Oh, as in the musical.
Yeah, so the Trey Parker and Matt Stone
play. Yeah.
Which is the best resource in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. To know all about Utah.
Dum.
You know, I've never seen the musical. I need to because really I have a musical theater background and I used to be Mormon. So you would think that I would think you did it a million times.
Yeah. It's really good. I saw it in New York City and it was amazing.
I'm envious of you. I've not. The last time I saw something in New York City, Rent had come back, so I got to see Rent.
Ah, true. Nice. Yeah. That's a great musical. It's
fantastic.
Really cool. Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, that was the first musical I ever saw on Broadway. And I'm actually going when I go back. I'm going back to New York in about a month, and I'm going to be. I've been in touch with the guitarist from the orchestra, and he said that I could come and sit in and watch in the pit. So I'm going to go and sit in the pit with him.
Oh, that's awesome!
That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. You know, you can really
take pictures. I want to see those.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I think Michael might catch this, but I don't know. I know Pod's probably not going to catch it, and Raph might not. But the first musical I ever saw was Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
It sounds familiar.
No reaction. It's an off-Broadway musical. It's the first live musical.
Hedwig and the what? Sorry.
Holy crap! You don't know this thing? Oh wow!
It rings a bell.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch. If you haven't seen it, first of all, if you're a social justice warrior or a feminist and you have not seen Hedwig and the Angry Inch, you have failed at social justice and feminism.
Damn you, Obama!
I saw this about 10 years ago when I was so far liberal you could have called me an SJW. But
say, how old is that?
It's, I want to say 2007, 2008. They made a movie about it with.
So
James
we can
Cameron.
blame Bush for him not seeing it now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all Bush's fault.
I think I have heard of it, but I don't really know that much about it.
You would say I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. I mean, it's kind of like Avenue Q. I've heard some of the songs from Avenue Q, but I still haven't seen that one.
Avenue Q is fucking fantastic.
I would love to see Avenue Q. Yeah, I would love to see Avenue Q.
Are they even doing that one live? Is anyone doing that one live?
Yeah, they are. They were doing it in Louisville the other day, or Louisville, as you normally call it.
In Louisville.
Louisville.
I love
you
Louisville.
either say Louisville or you're a foreigner.
Yeah, well, you Yankees still say Baton Rouge.
I had a really good time in Louisville. I got good friends there.
Well, I mean, it's just like South Carolina. It's Charleston, or you're not from around here.
Speaking of Avenue Q, last night I was watching clips from. Well, it wasn't from Sesame Street. It was like YouTube videos with the Sesame Street characters, and they were fucking hysterical. It was there was one where it was the Sesame Street people answering, like the characters like Grover and Cookie Monster and stuff, answering. When you type in something into Google and it auto corrects, it shows you a whole list of things that it could be, that kind of thing. And so it was those kind of questions about Sesame Street things, and they were answering the questions, and it was fucking hysterical. And then there was one which was Cookie Monster and John Oliver. They must have done like a newscast together or whatever, and it was just like outtakes of their thing. And Cookie Monster and John Oliver were like riffing with each other and stuff. It was so funny. I was like, wow.
I need to see that. Did you see the Game of Thrones thing they did?
The Sesame Street did.
Yeah, the Sesame Street Game of Thrones bit.
No.
It's amazing.
I have to look at this now, man. You've got to send me that link.
Here, let me look it up, and then I'll send it to you.
Well, the other thing that I saw was that Sesame Street has been taking the piss out of Trump for the last how many ever years. They've got a character called Ronald Dump or something like that, or Ronald Grump. And he is Donald Trump, and he does stupid shit. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? Sesame Street is getting all political and shit.
Let's be honest here, man. Who doesn't take the piss out of Donald Trump?
Yeah, I know. It's true.
I mean, let's exclude the fact that President of the United States is the target of all harassment in the United States to begin with.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
And just look at the, it's Donald Trump on top of everything else. So yeah. I mean, it's got to be entertaining.
He's definitely an interesting character. Definitely.
Hey, Mike.
My God.
Do you know Bronx is bringing tomorrow?
Yeah. So because we lost Willie Bumblebee, is that right?
Yeah, she said she didn't want to come on because of Sargon stuff or something.
Is Sargon coming on? Is he?
No, he's not. That's why I was super confused. I was just like, what? He's not even coming.
Okay. Well, Bronx talked about either Olive or Ranting Feminist.
Yeah, Ranting Fem would be great. I like Ranting Fem a lot. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, she's cool.
I actually invited her. I don't think she saw it. I invited.
Oh yeah,
her.
I'll send her a message and see what she says. Because that'd be cool. Yeah, I like it too.
I'd say Ranting's she's a sweetheart to talk to. We had her on the cunt stream. Like I told these guys before you were here, Michael, about a month-ish ago. I mean, it's the shitpost of live streams. It really is. But we have a good time. We just talk about all kinds of fun things.
Don't watch it, Michael. It's terrible stuff. If you're in it, it's great.
It's great to be in, terrible to watch. Like it will ruin your Saturday night.
Inside jokes that no one gets.
You're really quiet, Politipod.
I am on my phone, and I'm about to go back to work here in like 7 minutes. That's
okay.
All right, so
that's good.
So Dolphin, I dropped the video. It's the Sesame Street video. It's called Game of Chairs, and I'll send the link to Pod.
I'm excited.
I grabbed it up. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I've got it paused in the background right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. a little later.
Yeah, I DM'd it to you, Pod, since you're on your phone.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I did promise Pod that I would jump into his PTSD charity stream. By the way, Michael, you and I were involved in that this morning, and for a rare Twitter moment, we were in total agreement.
What are we?
About how fucking retarded TJ is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Oh my god. What a fucking loser.
Oh, wait a minute. You post about how retarded TJ is? We should probably talk more on Twitter.
Just specify that pretty much all of our side of this argument, Michael, is on board with you on this issue.
Yeah, and I think that huge fucking shit post the last 30 hours yesterday or whatever. I think it was miscommunication on both sides because we didn't fucking know anything about at least for my part and Schmeckel's part, we didn't fucking know that the family had said anything about that, and no one showed us anything. So, we were, obviously the skeptical community, being skeptical of everything, and I do want to apologize for that. But
no, that's fine. I understand.
But
yeah, I think everyone was just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, obviously, everyone was pretty emotional about it because we're all pretty close to. Well, we all kind of, knew. I think that was kind of a lot of the issue is the fact that a lot of us knew and interacted with these people, and so we. It's a pretty touchy topic if you're going to go and use that. And I know that's not what you were trying to do. I think, but a lot of people, pretty emotional about it. So it touchy topic.
No, I get it. I totally get it. No, that's perfect. Yeah, I get it.
And that's why I was so pissed off at TJ because
Yeah, and TJ's like, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I don't know why the fuck he thought that was cool.
He's thinking about himself. That's what he was thinking.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it's not.
That's just kind of something I accepted from just about the first time I discovered his channel, is that TJ is looking out for TJ, and that's pretty much what you have to go into it understanding.
Yeah.
Well, that's the shit that pissed me off is because I don't know what her name was, and but she was basically saying something about that. I thought she was talking to me. I was just like, I'm a vet, so I get pretty emotional when shit like that PTSD shit happens.
Sure.
I think a lot of vets do. But whenever she was just like, who the fuck are you guys to raise money? It's like, I thought she was saying that shit to me. She was saying it to TJ. I don't know who she was, but I say she because she had a picture of Uma Thurman as her profile, but whatever.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. That's all right. No problem. Yeah, no, it's all cool, man. We good. We good.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I get really frustrated with people that take charity and personally benefit themselves. So when that yesterday, when I started seeing his stuff come out, I was just like, really? You're really gonna jump on literally any benefit you can, aren't you?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I mean,
pissed me off.
Yeah, see, I really feel like he's just shamelessly in it for the money. Like, I think if it were profitable for him to be a feminist, he would be.
No, I agree.
Well, regardless of the fact he doesn't believe in it. I mean, not that being a feminist is per se a bad thing, but if you don't believe it, then it is.
Totally.
Yeah, it's the difference between selling a product because you're trying to make money and selling a product because you believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely.
But he's also doing it. He's also doing it for. I mean, I suppose that ultimately it's about the money, but also about making him see. Like we were saying, it's like him having these kind of trump cards that he can pull out whenever he likes and be like, oh yeah, well I donated to this charity or I had this charity thing. So the fact that I'm a piece of shit doesn't.
Earlier.
What's that?
That's what I pointed out earlier, is that he can always pull out that feather from his cap and be like, look what I did. I did all this. It was honest and honorable, and you should just recognize me for it. I'm sorry. No, I don't.
And it doesn't matter that I'm a big, huge piece of shit, and I'm being a big, huge piece of shit because I did this charity thing this one time, or I have a bunch of them. It's just
it doesn't matter that I obviously lied about these things, because look at this good thing over here I did.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter
yeah.
that I lied and defamed harmful opinions over my shilling for Candid. It doesn't matter because I donated some of that Candid money to this charity. Huh?
Yeah. So I have a question, Michael. Do you think it would be appropriate? I sent it out earlier. I didn't really know if we raised money for Harley tomorrow, or maybe just for the PTSD stream.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I said, it's a touchy topic, and it would be, it'd need to be something that's cleared with the family, I suppose, or with Harley.
Hey, Pod, if I can put in my 2 cents on this,
Go ahead, man.
I think that there are about 6 other people that are going to be in the stream that you should probably check with. I mean, I don't think.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's like I'm yeah. Like,
I would start a group with everyone you intend to have on, and discuss it with them.
I'll just ask them.
Yeah, just ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll
get a
do
consensus
that.
before you make a decision on that.
I mean, I've seen you do charity streams before, and I've always noticed that 100% of profits go to whoever you're saying it's going to. So,
Oh yeah, like for Mission 22,
I wouldn't have an issue with it. But if I didn't know you, I would want to look in and make sure that you weren't just another TJ Kirk.
Right.
Oh yeah. No, that's totally I get that.
Right. I would just tread
I gotta
cautiously.
go, guys. I got work. Yeah, I got work. So, Michael, I'll add you to a group tonight with everybody, and then I'll send out that. So I'll talk to y'all tonight.
Pod, thanks for being on the show. We'll see you later, man.
See you, bud.
Yep.
All right. Mike, you brought up an interesting topic, and you're kind of closer to the beast than Wrath or I are. So let me ask you a question, and if you don't know, that's fine. That's a valid answer.
Sure.
About how close do you think Steve Shives would be to actually pulling the Laci card and saying, you know what, let's have a conversation. Let's do this thing that Pod's doing tomorrow. Do you think Steve would be in on that? Or is he firmly against the
like I've said in the past, I mean, like, most of the people that I've talked to about the Laci thing are pretty down on her about it because of various reasons. And I've talked to Steve about it, and he is not so hip to it. And like I said in the past, I said about how Steve, he was going to be doing that podcast with Sean McNeil a while ago. So he and then it stopped because of the whole doxing thing. But so he's open to that kind of stuff. But it's and I understand. I mean, I have no time for people who are pieces of shit. I mean, I enjoy talking to you guys because you're respectful and nice people, and we can agree to disagree kind of thing. But I don't know, man. I'd like with this thing tomorrow. I was apprehensive initially because there's a couple of people on there that I don't have any time for at all, and so I'm just kind of like but I'm going to do it anyway and see how things go. You
know what, Mike? I'm going to go ahead and commend you on that because you're being a really big man by doing that, by standing up and saying, you know what, it doesn't matter if there's other people in the stream that I disagree with. I'm going to still stand up and say my piece. And I don't care if you're a feminist, a social justice warrior, an I don't care. If you stand up and you're actually willing to have a conversation, I respect you. For that.
See, the issue that I have, and the issue that a lot of us have, is that it's not just about disagreeing. It's about legitimizing actually harmful beliefs. Like in the case of Blair, like she actively spreads misinformation and harassment towards trans people and things like that.
I would say that she advocates her opinion. I wouldn't say that she's. I wouldn't say that she's trying to harm anybody. I would say that she advocates her opinion.
Yeah, but regardless, it still is harmful to other people.
But what harm does it do?
She actively spreads misinformation about trans people, which it's spreading transphobic rhetoric about You know, like Riley, for example.
All right, first of all, now Michael, I love you to death, man. You're my best internet frenemy, but I hate the word transphobic. I hate the word Islamophobic. I hate anything.
Sorry. Yeah, we've said this. Yeah. No, I dig. I mean, but you know what I mean, though. It's
no, I get what you're meaning. It's a hatred for, and I'm totally cool with coming up with a new word for hatred for.
Well, not necessarily hatred. That's the thing. It's having, you know, like she spreads these ideas about who can be and who can't be a trans person. You know, has all these, you know, rules for who can be trans and who can't be trans, and transgender, which is just the most bullshit term I've ever heard in my life. And spreads that to her audience of bigoted assholes who go around fucking continue and you know, say all this shit to trans people, and you know, when being someone who is trans, you know, that's going to be really harmful to you as someone, you know, it being a difficult thing to begin with. You know, when you are, you know, discovering your identity as a trans person, that shit's not easy, from what I understand. And then you know, so you're struggling with your identity and coming to grips with who you are and all that sort of business, and then, you know, suddenly there's all these people being like, no, you're not actually trans, you're just a transgender, blah, 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 blah. You know, that can be really harmful to you as a person. And when that is the shit that's being spread around by someone like Blair, you know, who's got all this influence over people, that she's actively harming and preventing, and you know, preventing people from discovering who they are, and it's deplorable. I hate it. You know, and then when Laci comes along and kind of, you know, yeah.
You know, on the subject of the transgender, it's, of course, it's a derogatory slur. I don't particularly like derogatory slurs. I think to tell somebody something, you need to be straightforward with them about what issues you have with them, rather than just throwing a word together and saying you're a transgender. But on the same token, I remember back when I was in high school, I can think of probably 30 to 40 women and men that I knew who claimed to be gay, because it was a really popular thing to be at the time. It was, you know, the late 90s. Everybody was finally being accepting of homosexuality, and people were saying, oh yeah, I'm gay. Well, then why are you always dating people of the opposite sex? Well, because that's what I'm into right now. I'm actually bi. Okay, well, 30 years later, why are you still not dating anybody of the same sex? Why have you never done this? Oh, well, I was never really gay. And see, I think that's where the transgender mindset comes from, is it becomes incredibly popular to be this part of this counterculture. You know, back in the 90s, gay was the counterculture. It was awesome. If you were gay, you got immediate respect from everyone. And I can't tell you the number of women who said, oh yeah, I'm a lesbian, and absolutely never had a single relationship with a single other woman, and only dated guys. And it's like, no, you're not a lesbian. A lesbian is somebody who's attracted to other women. You're doing it because it makes you popular, and you're advertising that you're gay, even though you're not.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of with Dolphin on it. Just a real quick thought. I initially did use the term transgender, and have kind of taken a step back and realized that pejoratives don't really further the discussion. My issue is when people claim to be trans, or as the trend was when I was in high school as well, to claim to be gay or bi, and to not exhibit or live any lifestyle or behaviors of that, is that it can be damaging to the people who are actually part of that culture. But I think that Blair takes it to a bridge too far. I think you're absolutely correct on that, Michael. But I think that, I guess my point is that you're both right, but both of you kind of have positions that don't consider all circumstances. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My issue comes with can I just respond to stuff?
Oh, no,
my issue comes.
Go ahead.
But my issue comes with the fact that I don't really think it's anyone's business besides the person who is claiming to be a certain thing. You know, I mean, why does it matter if someone you say that it can be harmful to those people? And I can see that to some degree, but also I feel like being uber skeptical of people's claims about their identity is just it's none of your business, basically. You know, if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, I'm trans," okay, great, good for you. And so then why should I? Who am I to then go? Oh no, you're not doing this or you're not doing that. This is the sort of thing you should do if you're trans. Well, then you're obviously not trans. I don't understand why you would do that. That just makes absolutely no sense to me.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Sure.
Here's my issue, Michael. When somebody says I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm trans, whatever, I immediately accept it. That's true. That's just my nature. It's like when people tell me something, I've met them for the first time, they say, "Okay, I'm trans." I say, "Oh, that's cool." You know, my son's grandfather is trans. That I'm perfectly cool with that. I can deal with that. I've had it in my life. I've honestly been interacting with the trans community since probably right around 2001, 2002. That area. And I've interacted with a tremendous amount of them before Caitlyn ever became Bruce. I mean, before it became a public media storm. My son's I have my wife and we have one son. I have a stepson and I have a son from a previous relationship. My first son has a trans grandfather. I've been intimately connected with that community for at least 10 years. And before that, I mean, Michael, you know my history. I was in RHPC or RHPS, you know, and I played Frank. I'm no stranger to the concepts behind it. But when somebody tells me I'm trans, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, and then exhibits absolutely none of the behaviors of those types of people, I'm like, are you trans because you think it's cool to be trans, or are you trans because you're actually trans? Because my issue is you're trying to get me to think you're cooler by lying to me, and I don't appreciate that. And I'm not going to think you're cool if you tell me you're gay when you're not really gay. I'm going to think you're cool when you say, "Hey, I'm straight and I'm proud of that." Okay, fine. That's great. Wonderful. If you say I'm great, I'm gay and I'm proud of that, and you're actually gay, fine. That's great. I'm behind you 100%. Whatever you want to do, you know, man. I have no control over your life. But if you're going to sit here and profess to me that you're this way and you're really not, and you're only saying it because you want me to think that you're cool, then that's pathetic.
I just think being in this mindset of, you know, because that's kind of the issue that I have is the people who are uber skeptical of other people's claims about their identity, right? And then, you know, and having these ideas in their head. That's the thing is Blair has these ideas that she shares with her audience about what constitutes a trans person. And when you have those, you know, these categories of what is and what is not a trans person, and then you're judging other people's identities based on those things. That's really harmful. And to be honest, I don't think the you know, the occurrence of quote unquote transgender people is that much of an epidemic, to be honest. You know, I'm
on board with you 100%. I don't think that the number of people who are claiming to be trans who aren't is really that big. I think it's
to have that as like a, you know, to have that as kind of like a go-to, which it is for a lot of those people, you know, that's a really harmful thing. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I don't really go after that subculture, because it's a small subculture. Some of them are really vocal, and maybe I'll point out the flaws in a really vocal one's opinions on it. However, to be honest with you, I really don't care what they identify themselves as long as you're not trying to influence or brainwash people who are less informed or less understanding on it. Like, I think it's when they when they're trying to influence people that I personally might take issue with it. Now, if they're just like, this is me, this is what I'm doing, I was like, cool. That's you. Do you. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. To be trans, all you need to do is identify as a different gender from what you were assigned at birth, right? So that's all you need to do. There would need to be, and so you don't need to transition. You don't need to do anything. Like, I could be trans and be exactly what I am now. I don't have to put on makeup or have a wig or
Can I stop you real quick and ask a question?
Sure.
What is the word? Oh man, our romance is getting deeper every day. So what does the word trans mean? Like, what does it mean?
It means
to me, it means transitioning. It means to
it means trans is derived from a word that means to go across or to be across. So No, but see, my issue with the being able to, you have to transition to be trans thing makes no sense, because how do you know you want to transition unless you are trans?
Well, here's an interesting thought. Why don't we come up with a new word for people who identify but don't transition? I mean, wouldn't that solve kind of the problem? I mean,
let's think,
isn't non-binary already a word?
My purpose is always to try and produce solutions to problems.
Yeah, so I mean, but that's the thing. We're people try and come up with other words for things, and then the rationals get all upset because the SJWs are making up new words. I mean, there are a bunch of words for various things, but trans is kind of an umbrella term, right? It's a very big, broad umbrella term, but there are more specific things, like you said, non-binary, genderqueer, gender non-conforming. There's a bunch of these different terms for things, but trans is just like an overall umbrella kind of thing, right?
It's a catch-all. So trans is, trans could be an asexual.
No, because asexual is it prescribes to the sexuality, not to your gender. You can obviously you can be asexual and trans at the same time, but asexuality is talking about sexuality, not gender. It's a different thing.
Do you know what my biggest problem with all of these issues is that they basically signify all the ways that we're different and the reasons we should hate each other.
Oh my god!
No! Don't get me wrong. I'm very honest when I say that. I'm being very direct. Look,
makes me think of have you watched Rick and Morty yet?
I need to. I really need to. My wife keeps taking over with this once upon a what is it? Once upon a time or
once upon a time. Man, there's this episode, right? There's this episode of Rick and Morty where they go to a planet and Rick sees it's a planet which is all the people on the planet have been quote unquote unified by this entity called Unity, which is like a brain parasite, I suppose, which it's an entity which controls people's minds, and so it's controlling everyone on the planet, and they're all quote unquote unified, right? So they are that entity now. So everyone on the planet is that entity, and it's funny because Rick used to date this entity at some point in the past, and so all the people on the planet he kind of gets along with them pretty well. But Summer is like really upset about it because she's like, they don't have any free will. They're not what you're controlling these people, and they don't have any say in it. What the hell is wrong with you? And she's like, and the Unity's like, oh, well, they're happy now. They're da 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 da. And Summer's like, no, that's the worst thing ever. And then something happens, and the Unity's power over some people goes away. And immediately the people start fighting each other because they have different nipples. So some of them have like cone nipples and some of them have like target nipples, and so the cone nipples people are like, we're the superior nipple people, and the other ones are like, no, we are and they have like a race war over the types of nipples that they have.
See, it's the Starbelly speeches all over again. I mean, Dr. Seuss already handled it.
I mean, I think that was probably the inspiration behind the Unity episode, because I love the Unity episode. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And just, of course, it's entertaining because just the way that Rick and Morty is written is just fantastic.
Yeah. The old stuff. We actually did just recently. I did a kids drama thing. Like I do this holiday program, right? And we did a play based on the Starbelly Sneetches. And so we had the kids dressing up as Sneetches and the cool machine and putting on the stars and taking off the stars and all that sort of shit.
All right, Mike, I got to know where you stand. Do you like the Sneetches with stars upon theirs or not?
The stars upon theirs, of course.
Okay.
What are you, some kind of crazy man?
It's like, what are you? Are you a madman? Are you insane? Are we going insane on this stream?
I don't know who you are anymore, man.
I used to like you, man. You used to be cool.
Dolphin, we could have been friends.
Oh man.
Became inconsolable differences. I mean, I was okay with the anti-feminism thing, but Starbell is stars upon theirs, no way.
I mentioned one time in a stream that I think that women got duped when they got pushed into the workplace. Michael was fine with that, but as soon as I said no stars upon ours, he was like, "I'm done with you, you son of a bitch."
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's hilarious.
How did we get there? I don't know how we got there. Oh, we were talking about differences.
Yeah, and see that is my major contention. Besides the whole raising children thing, my major contention with intersectional feminism has a lot to do with, like, when you divide people up into smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller groups, all you end up with is more groups of people with reasons to hate each other.
Yeah,
it bothers me that that's a solution to a problem. I don't think that's a solution to a problem. I think that's another problem in and of itself.
Because I don't think it's. I think you're looking at it the wrong way. It's not prescriptive. It's descriptive, right? It's merely acknowledging the fact that there are differences and seeing what those differences are and how they intersect with each other.
Here's the thing is that descriptive situation leads to a prescriptive, like every diagnosis leads to a prognosis. Okay. Every situation that creates these descriptive situations ends up creating a prescriptive solution. And if it doesn't, then it's a pointless argument of somebody just bitching to the wind about what they think is wrong with the world. Honestly, if you're not coming up with solutions, I really don't want to hear you after you identify the problem.
Yeah, well, that's what intersectional feminism is about as well. I mean, we obviously try to find solutions to problems.
I've never heard a solution come out. I've never heard.
So there must not be any solutions.
No, I don't say that there are no solutions. I just say that intersectional feminism is more about identifying problems to quote unquote raise awareness than it is about ever bringing up a solution to any of these problems. And their problem solutions seem to always be, well, let's beat down the privileged people so that they're as oppressed as the oppressed people. I don't think that's a solution. I think rising tide.
I don't really think that's how it goes. That's not my understanding of what it is. But even like thinking about the trans thing, trans YouTubers that I know, they educate people, and I think that's definitely a solution to a problem. That's educating people about the complexities of gender identity and things like that. I think that's a really valuable thing. And especially allow for people and for children who are going through that themselves. Like, for example, I mean, that's one of the reasons I like Laci so much, is because her thing is sex education, right? She's unabashedly about educating children about sex and sexuality and all that sort of stuff. And I think that was great. Now I'm a little bit disillusioned with it, but I think that was a really cool thing that she did.
Now hold on a second. I gotta ask, why are you disillusioned with Laci?
I just think this whole thing is I've seen some of the stuff that she said to other people, about people raising concerns to her and her just being a bitch about it. Like I said, I feel like
with all due respect, Mike, welcome to our side of the argument. That's exactly what we get on a day-to-day basis from feminists. is just
not just feminists. We
I
get
mean,
that.
not you. I mean, like there are people within the feminist movement that I absolutely adore. Christiosity is one of them. Michael Rowlands is another. I mean, these people are willing to talk to us.
That Michael Rowlands guy, he's pretty all right. He's pretty all right.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right when he's not wearing a toga. That was strange.
Oh, the toga.
I was only mad that I wasn't
I like
invited
him when
to
he
the
has
toga
his
party.
mustache.
That's why I was mad. Was because I wasn't invited.
As long as he's got a mustache, I'm cool with him. But until he shakes it off, yeah.
It's kind of there at the moment, but it's just a beard basically. I can take that. I mean, I just I've just seen a lot of stuff to do with her, and I don't know.
Do you take issue with the idea that she might be talking to more anti-feminists? I mean, that's what you're doing.
No, I don't necessarily, but like for example, she said about how she definitely cares about abuse and harassment and stuff like that, and she wouldn't that would factor into things, and she wouldn't have platforms with abusers and harassers. So I take issue with that because she doesn't seem to actually believe that, because I've had friends of mine who have gone to her and said, hey, look, these people, and she's just gone, oh yeah, well fuck you, and not paid attention. And also she if she did actually care about that stuff, she wanted to get an opinion about harassment and abuse inside the community, then why go to the abusers? Why not ask the people who have been affected by the abuse rather than going, because the people who are the abusers aren't going to tell you the truth about the situation.
Well, can I give you an honest answer to that? Sure. The answer to your question is you go to the abusers for the same reason you go to the victims, because you want both sides of the story.
Yeah, but it's just kind of convenient that the abusers happen to also have, large audiences, and, it's going to bring in lots of views and all that sort of shit. It's, Are
we talking about a particular Australian bear by any chance?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, but I don't think she. I don't know, man. Like when she asked.
I'm speaking in general. You're speaking specifically about Laci. I'm speaking in general. I mean, like in general.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I just like when she put out a tweet asking for anti-feminist channels to talk to or whatever, and then immediately it's swamped by all these people saying like, yeah, Sargon, because he's super rational and sugar tits and bearing and stuff, and I'm just like, no, but she's not going to get a proper understanding about the what these people get up to by talking to them.
Well, I mean, but maybe she won't have a full understanding just by talking to them, but by opening herself up, maybe watching some of their content, she can get a pretty good idea on what's going on.
The thing, like for example, with Blair looks and comes across very kind of amiable, very cordial, and like a nice kind of person, but she would stab you in the back instantly if it. And I know this because what's that?
How do you know that?
Because it's happened to me. She instantly turns into a snake the moment you cross her.
Well, I mean, no disrespect to Blair, but everything I've seen about her, she kind of seems very catty. I mean, I wouldn't go in with any expectation other than kind of a typical gossip, to be honest.
Yeah, but she's got all this thing, you see, her saying all this stuff about, I just want to have a reasonable discussion. Fuck off. It's just a facade that, to seem more reasonable when she's actually just not. She's just a piece of shit,
I wouldn't go so far as to call her that, but I would say that she definitely is out for her own benefit. I mean, not to say that she's alone in that. I think there's a good number of people on both sides of the argument that are after their own benefit before furthering the dialogue.
See, I just think it's also very convenient that Laci's decided to start doing these things, after the whole demonetizing things kind of happened, people losing, money on their channels and stuff. Oh, great. Oh, that's fortunate that we can have discussions and get super chats and, all that sort of business.
But I don't see a problem in a multifaceted motivation on it. I mean, maybe she wants to make more money on YouTube, and I understand that, and that is a selfish end. But if she furthers the dialogue while doing so, I don't see what's wrong with profiting off of that decision.
Yeah, like I say,
I'm going to be watching through skeptical lenses on what follows. But at this point, I'm happy to see that the dialogue is expanding, but I'm not expecting it to be entirely genuine and honest discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I'm
just trying not to have too much expectation either way, really, with this.
Sure. See, my issue with the whole opening up the dialogue thing is, I wouldn't open up the dialogue to flat earthers or lizard people, conspiracy theory people. And it seems like Laci is doing that to me.
Why not? If you don't mind me asking, why not?
Because those people aren't open to having their minds changed. There's no point in discussing with people who have these crazy, stupid, anti-science ideas.
The audience I think you can hear you have a discussion with those people, whether their perspective changes at all or not. Is immaterial. Just having that discussion. And I mean, that's why where I disagree with a lot of what Laci says. I would absolutely love to have a discussion with her, even if it's not on my platform, even if I don't gain any viewership from having that discussion. I'd love to have a discussion with her on issues that I don't expect her to bend on.
Or, by the way, I might like to mention the same reason, Michael, that we like having discussions with you.
Even if we don't expect you to change on your positions, it's good to have an actual live reaction dialogue with you, and it shows the spine that you have on your convictions that you're willing to have these discussions with us live.
I just I think there are better uses of my and other people's time. I enjoy doing these. I think they're great, but I think the people that I'm just like I say, I wouldn't have a live stream with. There are people that I wouldn't, because I just know that it's a waste of time, and I don't think Laci can have some discussions with like I said, she's for some reason not doing these discussions with people within her community for some reason. It seems to me that would be valuable as well, but that's not really something she's we have plenty of, I do plenty of hangouts with my feminism friends as well, and we get to discuss ideas, and we can, and I think that's very valuable as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to Mike's side of the argument here, and I kind of think that this is probably why people like Steve Shives don't come on, is because he's got a really valid point, Wrath. He's, there's certain people that you cannot talk to. I don't think Steve Shives could get in a conversation on a live stream with Sargon of Akkad and have anything productive happen.
Right. Okay. Granted, there are extremes to where it's not beneficial to talk to them, and maybe with flat earthers, subjectively, there are some that wouldn't be worth talking to, but I'm not going to just say there's no flat earther that I would ever talk to, because there might be a flat earther that I could have a discussion with. Sure, we'd go away not having changed our opinions, but just hashing out our differences could be beneficial to the audience, like John Doe in the chat pointed out. And I was kind of trying to allude to is that, maybe it's more to the benefit of the viewer that I might not gain anything out of it, but that it might help people to understand why their ideas are flawed, to talk to someone who's a strict ideologue.
Well, it's just like, it's like,
But I agree, there are
think it
people that
needs
are
to
not
be.
worth having a dialogue with. Like, I would not sit and have a conversation with David Duke, for example.
Like, for example, the debate that Christie and Sargon had. That never needs to be done again, because Sargon got his ass kicked. He obviously has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. So there's just no point in even opening up that can of worms again. And it's the same with Saitan Bruggencate. There was that debate between him and Matt Dillahunty. No one needs to do that again, because I got the floor wiped with his butt, because he's just, none of his stuff makes any sense.
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to disagree with you on the same issue, man. Yeah, like I totally agree that Christie and Sargon there was nothing productive that was ever going to come out of that conversation.
Oh no.
Because both of them had their mind set before they even began speaking. And yeah, it might be for the audience, but literally I watched that stream and it was like they had written out scripts beforehand to just read to each other. And it was
totally, because it was a debate, right?
I'm going to disagree with you that Sargon got his ass kicked on the basis of 2 points. Number one, it wasn't a debate. It was people reading their ideas at each other. And number two, that Sargon was right and Christie was wrong.
Well, I mean, the way I feel about that, I didn't watch it in its entirety because I made it a little bit into it, and I realized that it was pretty much just two people who had typed up their opinions and were just reading them out to each other. It was like if you've seen, I don't know if you guys follow rap much, but if you've seen a pre-written versus an ad-lib rap battle, a pre-written rap battle is so boring and you almost know who's going to win before they start.
Right.
But where if it's off the cuff, then it's much more entertaining, it's much more interesting, and it's an actual competition at that point. This was the former. That debate was. So I agree. Nothing fruitful besides entertainment value comes out of that.
Well, I feel like it because Sargon definitely went off script at points, and there was some back and forth where basically Christie said to him something like, said that there is information out there that you can read if you want that will, that you can actually answer these questions with, and Sargon straight up said, I don't care. So, I feel from that. That was one of the things that I got from that is that Sargon isn't actually open to having his mind changed. That was one of the things I got from that discussion, because he straight up said it in an unscripted thing. So that's kind of what I meant when I said that Sargon got his butt kicked, because he was unprepared, because in like a debate.
Honestly, I think they were both unprepared for a debate, and they were both prepared to make statements at each other, but neither of them prepared for an actual debate. And I would be surprised to find out after watching that either of them had ever been in any form of debate course or any.
But that's kind of how, like, whenever I've seen like live debates, that's kind of how people do it, right? They write out a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of they have their when I did like high school debating and stuff, you had like three prepared like things which were your arguments, three different arguments or whatever, and every time you came up, and then there was also the rebuttal section where you got to respond to the thing that the people had said, and so you could write some stuff. But a lot of the time you were actually just reading stuff that you'd written beforehand, surely, isn't it? That's what I understood, like in a formal debate sort of sense,
Yeah, and I didn't see the rebuttal section come up at all during that discussion. And I
they might not have done.
I refuse to this day to call it a debate. It was not a debate. It was two people reading their opinions of each other.
Fair. Wow, it's starting to rain real hard. I'll have to go in about 10 minutes, maybe. But
it's all right, because we're actually going to be closing down the show here in a little bit. But
yeah, I'd say around an hour to an hour and a half is kind of your target for actually getting views after the fact.
I don't even really care about views, man. I'm an engineer. I get paid a ridiculous amount of money to make sure that.
I mean, I'm just saying so people can see and talk about this, not on the basis of you making money, but so.
I think I've made like $4 in ad revenue since November.
I think I made before Adpocalypse, I was up to like $11.
Adpocalypse, that's amazing.
But I
I got my
never
first
planned
pay.
on making my living on YouTube anyway. This is a hobby and a way for me to discuss things that are difficult to discuss IRL, since I live in a very one mind political area.
That's an interesting point that you bring up, Reth, because that kind of brings in what we've been talking about up until now, is that I honestly I question the conviction of a lot of content providers, whether they're providing their honest opinion, whether they step up and say their honest opinion if they thought it would make them a few dollars. And, that brings us back to the TJ Kirk argument and a bunch of other stuff. But, when you see arguments between professional YouTubers, you just got to look at them and shake your head and think, how much of this is honest and how much is for views?
Yeah, totally.
Right. That was a decision I made a while ago. At one point, I had the opportunity to be part of something where I might have to toe the line, so to speak, not as like a voice actor, but as my character on YouTube. And I decided then and there that I would rather never make a dime and stick to what I stand for than to have the opportunity for it to basically become like a part-time, or maybe, best case scenario, a full-time job, spouting things I don't believe in.
Yeah, because then you're just Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, then I was going to say then, yeah.
You're like an Anderson Cooper, or for fair play, Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, it's like a storm suddenly
Jesus,
just hit me.
Man. I can hear the tsunami hitting your shores. You should probably get indoors.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy. It just came out of nowhere.
I want to move to that country. Jesus. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the Dolphin Radio Show has been brought to you by, let's see, I don't know who my advertisers are. Knowlege. Not always accurate, not always helpful, but still nice to have. And don't forget to visit our other sponsor, Apathy, or don't. Who cares? Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in.
Also, support Michael Rowlands Hurricane Relief, because damn.
We're going to be starting a charity stream in the name of TJ.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
All right, thank you for the president of the neutral planet. Mike, you need to go get to a safe place, man. I hope you the best today, especially with that storm. I don't know what you're going through, but it sounds really
bad. Wow. It's crazy. I'm going to be hanging out with my sister real soon, so we're going to go to the aquarium or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, stay safe. I hear Hurricane Bering's a vicious one.
I think they're called, are they called something else over there on the southern hemisphere?
Cyclone?
There you go, cyclone. All right.
Yeah.
This episode of the Dolphin Radio Show is brought to you by Forgotten Terms. Thank you all for
we only
joining
just got
us.
color TV, so that's yeah. We're pretty
Thank you, Michael Rowlands, for joining in on the conversation. Thank you, Rath, for coming in. You guys, be sure to check out the Politipod. Michael is going to be in what I hope to be one of the most amazing streams of this year tomorrow night on the Politipod. Check it out. Follow Mike, follow the Politipod, both links in the description below. I'll probably edit for Wrath later. If you don't follow them, we'll send armed guards to your house or something. We won't like you. There.
What time is the stream tomorrow? I really should check that.
I think it's either 6 or 7. I would check in at 5 though if I were you.
And Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, no. It's Central. It's Central. So, go 7-8 on my clock.
Hold on. Central Time. Okay, hold on. I need because I have a job at 1, so I really should make sure that I'm not fucking Central Time. Here we go.
All right, so John Doe in the chat, Pod was on the stream earlier. If you want to go back and restart it as soon as Cash out here, you're more than welcome to. He was on earlier and talking about the stream.
Well,
Anyway,
good, homies. Well, it was a pleasure.
Wrath, any last comments before we go? Oh, by the way, you guys, just real quick, if you think Wrath looks handsome in his new close-shaven beard, like the video. If you don't, like the video.
And if you have no strong feeling either way, like the video.
Like the video. Anyway, this has been it for the Dolphin Radio Show. We'll see you back here next week. Thank you all, you very attractive, unwedded children. Have a nice day.